kind of windy, so I hope the sound is pretty good. Not quite sure about the sound, but wind. Out here today, walking Glasgow Park. Beautiful park here in Newcastle County, Bear, Delaware. Making this video, part of the Rucking Series, telling our story. A few veterans who found it fun. It's good for memory, bringing back good thoughts, things like that, to hopefully get others to talk about their time in service. So it's my video talking about my time in the Army and why I joined. My journey dates back to spring of 1996. Young kid, graduating Glasgow High School here in Newark, Delaware. Wasn't an AB student for the first 4 years. I was one of those kids that was on the extended high school career. It's pretty cool. Nah. But I got my act together. Paid for summer school. And even went to school on Saturday. Just so I could graduate a year late. But hey, I did it. So how did I get into the Army? Well, I got accepted into the Culinary Institute of Philadelphia because I had worked in a restaurant, Grecian food, as a cook, line cook, salad prep, all that other good stuff. But that wasn't something I was going to do for life. So I ended up joining the Army. First, I was going to join the Marine Corps, but my aunt told me I could join any service but that one because of some things that she experienced with her husband. And you know, you listen to your aunties. So, joining the Army. First was going into the National Guard as an MP. But then my recruiter, active regular Army recruiter, she talked me out of it. Kind of glad she did, though. She talked me out of it. Went to regular Army. Did 2 years in ROTC, so that was pretty good too. Had fun, learned a lot, and just became a leader, learned what a leader was. And yeah, just joined, man. I went to the MEPS. And you know how the MEPS is. Hurry up and wait. All day adventure. So by the time I got in the office, they told me they only had 2 jobs for me to pick from. One, because of my line scores, and 2, simply because it was so late in the season. And I wanted infantry, but that wasn't one of the offers at the time. So the first one they told me was combat engineer, bridging. So I asked what they did. They told me build things and blow it up. It's right up my alley. This is my speed. So I jumped at the opportunity. Where do I sign? Can't wait to go. So I was I was proud to join the Army, you know. My grandfather actually served in World War II, and he went in underage, changed his name, took on a different spelling of the last name, and changed his first name and went in underage so that he can go with his brother. So it's kind of like an honor to do so. And plus, all of my uncles went in, they served too, which was pretty good, and a few cousins. So I was happy about it. And after I joined, you know, recruiter asked me, well, where do you want to be stationed? I heard about Fort Bragg. So I said Fort Bragg, and she told me that there's 2 women to every man there. And I was like, heck yeah. You know, teenager. All about hormones driving. So that was a pick that I had. Then it was funny. The morning I was supposed to go to the MEPS was the same morning I had an appointment with the National Guard to go to the MEPS. So both recruiters was at my house at the same time. So whoever won that fight was the one, whoever car I got in. Regular Army won. Yeah, females won every time. So did what I had to do. Went in and basic training, Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. First time away from home. Pretty cool. One funny story I have was at the reception. Was at reception. So the cadre had told us about snakes in Missouri one day, right? And back then, I was freaking terrified of snakes. So in the middle of the night, I never really wore necklaces either. So in the middle of the night, you know how you roll around, my dog tag started moving. So I started screaming, get it off me, get it off me. Snake on me. It was like our last night at reception. I didn't sleep the rest of that night. But everybody's yelling, shut up, go to sleep, all that other good stuff. That's pretty crazy. So then, the drill sergeants come. I thought reception was basic training because I was like, if this is basic training, this is a piece of cake. You know, you got to drink Kool-Aid, eat cakes, you know, fatty cakes, all that other good stuff. It's pretty crazy, pretty fun though. Sit around, read your smart book, get about a dozen vaccines, nice haircut, best haircut in the world. Matter of fact, I still have it naturally now. Yeah, so it was cool. Get your uniform, look in the mirror, got a big smile on your face because you're here, you made it. And I was just so proud of doing it. And that morning, all the bags were outside, ready to go, packed, and these cattle cars. If you ever seen a cattle car, you see cows and stuff in these like trailers and stuff. Well, in the military, they call them troop transports. And the max maybe 80, but drill sergeant's gonna get at least 100 in there. So we're all in there. Drill sergeant's out there lining up, counting, making sure they got everybody they were supposed to pick up. And we get in there and we make that right. Coming out of the 43rd. And Drill Sergeant Wyatt, he starts yelling, put your faces in your duffel bag. And he starts yelling that, and you got your duffel bag in front of you. It's about 100 pounds full of gear. Your face is in your duffel bag. You're trying not to look up, but you're trying to see this guy. I just want to see what this guy looks like. And he started yelling, "What are you looking at? Why are you eyeballing me?" And it's pretty messy. I'm terrified at this point though, because now I don't know what to expect. So we start rolling, and he starts yelling, "If you didn't mention some illnesses or whatever at at the reception, that if you have anything like asthma or something, put your hand up." I put my hand up. He didn't see it though. So all this other stuff. Started yelling all these other things. So those who had their hand up, once we departed the troop transport, they stood off to the side. Everybody else take off running with all your gear in your hand. So I'm running, but I'm saying, I got asthma. Nobody's paying me no doggone attention. Get in line. So I'm in line. Pretty funny time though. In line. Now they're doing shakedown. After shark attack, about 3-4 drill sergeants in your face yelling. Each one yelling something different. You don't know who to pay attention to. So after that shark attack and shakedown, you're holding up all kinds of stuff. If they ask for 7 t-shirts, you hold up 7 t-shirts. 7 underwear, you hold up 7 underwear. All that good stuff. They're just trying to make sure that you have all your gear that you signed for, that you're supposed to have. So we're there. As you know, we're reloading, putting everything back in the bag, going into the barracks. Drill Sergeant Wyatt yelling, "Welcome to the Terror Dome." I still remember those words. Because I still remember him yelling. He was the darkest black man I ever met. But he was cool, but he ended up getting in trouble though later on in the cycle, but it happens. Heck. But anyway, so we're going through basic. We're doing what we got to do. Training, all that. And me now, I'm focused now. I'm trying to, as the commercials say, be all that I can be. Training hard, learning everything, trying to excel. Not trying to stand out, but just trying to do what I need to do to graduate in 13 weeks. So we graduate basic training. I was like, I'm not gonna say piece of cake, but because we had some challenging moments, especially when my platoon ended up getting evicted out of the barracks. Drill Sergeant Hawkins, squared away, most squared away drill sergeant that I knew, and he got on the intercom and told us that we were evicted. We had like 30 minutes to get our bunks and wall lockers, put them out in the grass behind our barracks, dress right dress, which means straight line, set up like as if they were in the barracks room, and all your wall locker displays and everything had to be in place. Man, we're running, we're helping each other, so this was a good team building exercise. We're helping each other, getting everything straight. He comes out there, he gives us a class on wall locker displays and how to properly make your bunk. So we were doing all that, and then it was chow time, so we went to chow. But while we were in the chow hall eating, it started raining. And our bunks and everything started getting wet. So we had to run out the chow hall and put our stuff away. Crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. So in between basic and AIT, we were OSUT, one station unit training. We do all that together. In between all that, we have what we call an essayance weekend, where we get an essayance pass where we can take that weekend and go out. Anytime I hear those helicopters, I gotta look up. But we go out and just spend the weekend out trying to relax, get ready for AIT. Well, my battle buddy, Jakes, still remember him. He was older, so he got drunk. And he was out partying with some group. I stayed in the hotel room, and I had bought a brand new Bible. So I was reading the word. And he's out partying all night. So we go back on post, because it's getting time for us, getting close. Time for us to report back to the drill sergeant. So we went back, and we're in the PX, and he's in the bathroom, just vomiting, just having a time. So we get back to the barracks, and I already see drill sergeant, Millsap, and Shalk, and all those guys outside. They just wearing privates out, man, killing them. And reason being, how you doing? Reason being is because they knew they were drunk, so they were just wearing that alcohol out of them, just killing them. And Jakes tried to hide, but Jakes couldn't hide it because it was all coming out of his pores. What a mess, man. So yeah, he got caught, and he had to pay the price for what he did. How you doing? I recall one time I got caught sleeping. You know, Sundays you're supposed to be working, cleaning barracks, shining shoes, shining boots, all that other good stuff. And I decided I would move my wall locker out just a little bit. And I kind of slid behind it. It was gone. It was straight up sleep. And I opened my eyes. Drill Sergeant Shark standing there. He's like, why don't you put your Bible away and meet me at the CQ office. Man. And me working, just doing all kinds of cleanup, walking around. We were on sleep patrol too. We had to walk around the barracks, make sure nobody was sleeping. And then they got to go to the PX. But because I was caught asleep, I couldn't go get my supplies. But my battle buddy, good battle buddy that he was, he went for me. But yeah, that was cool. AIT was cool. A lot of technical stuff, good stuff, learning how to set booby traps and identify mines and work with mine detectors and build bridge, a lot of other good stuff. It was good. So at the end, you know, we had 2 awards that they give, 2 highest awards. One was Commander's Award. Second was Trailblazer Award. So me and this other guy, Buck Holtz, we were the 2 top, so they had to decide who would get it, and we were pretty much tied. All first-time goals and all that other good stuff. So it came down to a PT test, and we took our PT test late anyway, because like 3/4 of our company was sick from food poison from the chow hall. Somebody didn't wash their hands when prepping the salad. So 3/4 of the platoon, the company, was sick. So I came out to a PT test, And Buckholz, who's better in PT, is one of those natural guys who just ran. So he got the Commander's Award. I ended up with the Trailblazer Award that I try to use for promotion points from E4 to E5. And they were like, that's not worth anything. Just good for show. Bragging rights. So yeah, so from there, first duty station, Korea. And as a 19-year-old young man, never really been away from his family except for that one time. In basic training now, going to a totally different country. That's pretty wild, you know, right? So, flew over, landed in Kimpo Airport. And they, first time I ever seen anybody in the airport with loaded weapons, man. It scared the hell out of me, man. I didn't know what I was landing into. And I get off the plane, joined the group because they had, you know, cadre waiting for incoming soldiers. So spent the night at, I forgot which hotel it was. I spent the night there. And man, that first night, I freaking cried like a baby, man. I cried like a baby. Because I didn't understand a word anybody was saying. Strange land. I didn't know what to do. All I knew is we had to be down in the lobby early in the morning to go to chow, and then to take a 2-hour ride up north to where we had to be at for end processing. So get there and all that. That was cool. Reception was cool. Hooked up a couple buddies from AIT, basic training. There's like a lot of us got our first station in Korea. So we're over there. It was cool. But it was a challenging year altogether. We had a lot of stuff going on that year. We had Honor Platoon, 2nd Infantry Division, Honor Platoon. Did a lot to earn it. So much, certain amount from the platoon. Had to score expert with the M16. Had to do combined training with the ROK Army, Republic of Korea Army. All kinds of other qualifications, PT scores had to be good. There were so many requirements that you had to meet, and we met them. And we were like the last platoon to ever make honor platoon, because they did away with it after we got it. But we had badges, which was pretty cool and all that. But by the time we got it all, we were only allowed to wear them for like, I don't know, like a week or so, because they did away with it. But yeah, met some good friends, good people, great time. Spent a lot of time out on the freaking MGen, fire and ice. I'll tell you what, if you think you've been cold, you've never really been cold, unless you've been Korean cold. And it had these different layers of cold weather gear that you put on. And you do this training. First you watch this video, and then the day after, when it has to be below 20 degrees, you sleep outside in a sleeping bag, but you're just wearing PT shorts and a PT shirt. Man, was that cold. So we're out fire and ice, you know, setting charges on the ice. First, dragging a RB3 across ice, you know, to chop holes in it. And you slipping everywhere. That's not fun. And then just to put charges in there, you know, C4 and stuff to blow it. And then guarding the AHA. My goodness. You're standing in one spot. And I had on every layer of cold weather gear that we were issued. And when I say cold, man, it was freaking cold. Then I tried to go use the porta potty. And Korea, the porta potties are just a little bit smaller. And I couldn't walk in there like normal. So I had to turn sideways because I had all this gear on. And to try to use the bathroom, that was the challenge. The zipper's in the front, but the zipper goes all the way to the back of the Parachute, Gore-Tex, and Polypros, you just gotta pull it down. But yeah, all that stuff, man. Freaking crazy. All the alerts every month, sometimes twice a month, a good old siren would go off. And the siren was to indicate that we are under attack. And even to this day, man, it sounds like the firehouse sirens around here. So to this day, every time I hear that siren, I stop what I'm doing and I look around. And I remember I'm here in the US, I'm home. But the first time I came home from Korea and I heard that sound in somebody's house, I freaked out. And they looked at me like I was crazy. But I was like, nah, man. I was like, are we good? And they said, yeah, that's just the fire company. I was like, are you sure? And they're like, yeah. But even to this day, man, I still stop what I'm doing. I look around. It's crazy. But yeah, those alerts, different types of alerts, all kinds of stuff. Some of them you go arms room, get your weapon. Some you load up the trucks. And some you just for accountability purposes to make sure we have everyone. But there were different kinds, and they were crazy because you never know when they would happen unless if it was a planned one from like division or battalion or whatever, somebody would leak that information. But other than that, you never knew when it was going off. And nuts, just straight nuts. So went through all that. But I tell you what though, one alert we had, Sergeant First Class Harris, it was our platoon sergeant at the time. He said we moved too slow during the alert. We were not ready. So we had another alert that night. And we were in the foxholes everywhere. Mop level 2. Yeah. Oh no, I think mop level 3 we were in. Yep. And man, we were in there so long. He let us out about, it's probably around like 10:30 or 22:30. And I was so freaking tired. I went to sleep with mop gear on. Some of the other people, some of y'all went out to the club. I remember that. You were like, we only have an hour left. Yo, let's go. Nah, I was asleep. I slept like a freaking baby that night. But that was one CD, actually 2 CDs that got me through that tour. I had my little system over there that I bought at the PX. Take my mind away at night. And that was CC Winans, In His Presence. And I still love that CD. It's like classical gospel. And Kirk Franklin, What You Looking For. I remember I had that video, that combo, that TV VCR combo. And I used to watch that video. I bought that video. I used to watch it all the time, that concert. But yeah, at night I used to listen to music while I was asleep. Take my mind away from where I was. And it helped some nights. It was pretty cool. We had some good Katusas. Some Katusas not so good, but overall, I remember Lim, Jung, Kim, They used to call him Kim Burger King. His name was Kim BK. Cool Catusas. Then I came back, went to Fort Hood. Fort Hood was all right. We had a lot of stuff going on at Fort Hood, man. I mean, gang stuff. Just wow. Fort Hood is just wow. It's still wow. You watch the news, you see that place didn't change much. But hopefully with all these rules and laws and stuff and the regulations changing, that it'll get better. But Fort Hood was crazy. And I stayed there for a while, a little over 2 years, like 2.5. And went to PLDC there. And PLDC was cool. We had 10 platoons. And with all 10, all right. The 10 platoons, it was all cool. I was in 8th platoon. Just imagine 10 platoons in a PLDC. That's how big it was. And 8th, we had Crazy 8s. Ranger Q was one of the instructors, and I forgot the other guy. You always remember the crazy ones. And Ranger Q, he had us up, trying to shine some barracks floors from World War II to make them shine. Come on, man. It was impossible. But training, I gotta say he gave the best training, man. Because while everybody else was asleep during that last field exercise, the evaluation one, everybody sleep. We were out patrolling. We got an hour nap in. We just rode out the sleeping mat. We fell asleep where we were. Rotated guards. Oh yeah, that was exhausting, man. And Ranger Q was cool. I remember I ran into him at 3 Corps headquarters. I was there for some meeting. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, I saw him. He was cool, Ranger Q. Never forget him. And soon after, Fort Hood moved on to. Oh, hold on. I gotta tell you, we had some great NCOs at Fort Hood too. Some of them came from Korea. I met them in Korea, but got to know them more when we got to Fort Hood. And them suckers used to call me Timing Bomb. So that was the nickname they gave me, Timing Bomb. I still think about that one. Every now and then, I did feel like exploding, but it was cool. But after a while, a little over 2 years there, I got orders to Germany, which I really wanted to go to. But my wife at the time, she didn't want to go. So I ended up doing a swap with somebody and ended up going to Korea for the second time. So I brought my family back to where I am now, Delaware. And I went back to Korea again. And that time, I was used to it, but then we had this first sergeant, man. First Sergeant Green. Man, that sucker, man. We landed, I remember me and Hayward, Sergeant Hayward. We landed together. And First Sergeant Green picked us up from the doggone reception. Not reception, but from the turtle farm. And we got back to the barracks. They told us we had 30 minutes to take all of our gear up to our room and come back down with enough gear for a week in the field. So we took our stuff upstairs. We come back down. We putting all of our TA-50 together in the back of the doggone Humvee. And we get out to the field, man. And we got out there dark. And I remember my platoon was already on the water. And so Sergeant Gilly asked me, hey, you know how to operate a boat? I said, yeah, I did it at Fort Hood for a bit. So I get on there. No markings of where these doggone, where it's low, where the tide's low or the water's low. Oh man. As soon as I get on, what I do? I hit sand. I'm trying to get unstuck like we did at Fort Hood, you know what I mean? Yeah. That ain't work. So I got off that sucker, went on the build crew. But yeah, that was cool though. But the second tour was a little better. I was squad leader, first platoon. Had some good guys. One guy, that was the last tour. It's crazy when you do 3 tours. Everybody run together, so you try to figure out who was cool on your first, second, third tour. But second tour is when I met Kid, Campillo, Ames, Will, Shucks, Hughes, all those guys, second tour. And that tour, we had this first sergeant who just drove me freaking nuts, man. Sometimes I don't bite my tongue, so yeah, I got kind of like in trouble one day when we were going to the field and my driver needed some sleep. So him and the commander lollygagging in the office. So I go up to the company guide I'm getting ready to dismiss the company. And the XO called me to the back. What do you think you're doing? I was like, sir, I'm about to dismiss the company. I don't know what the heck the first sergeant and the CO doing, but our drivers need some sleep. And needless to say, that next morning, first sergeant was talking about he said he had my promotion packet, waving it in his hand like, you know, oh, you think you big and bad or whatever, I'll do away with it. It didn't bother me none. So he talked about he was going to charge me with impersonating the first sergeant, but he never got the opportunity to do so because that sucker got relieved of his command a few days later. And I don't know, some crybaby called the sergeant major, a battalion, talking about he's the greatest first sergeant and all this other crap. So first sergeant came down, called all the NCOs to the old boathouse club. We all in there. And now sergeant major talking about what we doing is mutiny, and I was like, oh, what the hell up? Yo, we all ain't make this call. I'm out of here. But that was wild though. But that was cool. After a while, that's when 9/11 hit. We were out in the field on the Han River doing that combined training with the Rock Army, spanning the whole Han. Pretty cool. You know, crazy stuff happened. But it was all good though. I did extend. I tried to. Well, I put in order to extend. But I heard at Fort Polk, they were going to Kosovo. So I told them take my extension request out and send me to Fort Polk, which was pretty good. Ended up going to Fort Polk, but didn't go to Kosovo. That was all good. Hey, how you doing? I've been good.
Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you. You still out here getting it.
I'm tired today. I'm dragging myself.
But you doing it though. All right, be blessed now. Yeah, so 9/11 happened. Went to Fort Polk. Some things happened between me and my ex-wife at that time. We ended up getting back together. Fort Polk was nice, even though I couldn't breathe worth of crap in that state. Met some more good people. Went to BNOC there, which was pretty cool. And BNOC was straight. I remember being so tired on that last field training exercise, doing Slope determination. Man, I was seeing dinosaurs that night. Walking across the road. Crazy, because I was the one going up the hill, walking up the hill. And all I saw was dinosaurs walking across the road. It's dark. Real dark. Yeah, so it's pretty crazy. Pretty rough. But, graduated. Moved on. Not long. Everybody went to Iraq, left me. I had a heart injury. Still have it, but had a heart injury. And I stopped going to see the doctor because I wanted to go to Iraq. So I stopped going. And I started working out twice a day. Got to a point I worked out so hard in my house one time, or should I say base housing, that I passed out trying to get out the door to get some air. Passed out right there by the front door. Woke up, ex-wife, phone in her hand. She's getting right down 911 when I came to. And had paint chips all over my head. Yeah, it was wild. But I got healthy again. Well, as healthy as I could get. Still had a heart battle. And I was getting ready to go over to Iraq. Catch up with the platoon.
Yeah, maybe they didn't have enough workers.
And by the time I got there, well, to that point, the branch called. Branch never calls. You normally get a happy gram in the mail. Branch call told me I had to report to Korea by February 20th. I was like, yo, I've been there twice already. I don't need to go again. But they told me there are people over there that need to be relieved because they've been there 15 months. So now I'm doing my third tour. But I was kind of happy at the same time because I was getting away from somebody. Yeah. So I actually went to travel and asked for that first flight out. Ended up leaving February 4th, which was crazy though when I think about the end of that tour. But that was the best tour. Good squad. Deuce. Shout out to Deuce. Y'all were the best ones, man. Y'all made that tour. And it was cool. Good squad. Good troops. You know, had troops who struggled with PT. Remember, he's now First Sergeant St. Val. Couldn't pass PT. Almost didn't make it to the rank of PFC. He was one PT test away from getting kicked out. But those extra morning runs, brother, with that flak vest on, me and you, 5 o'clock. He passed that next PT test. But now he's still aspiring troops. And is now a first sergeant himself. Awesome. Proud of you, man. So another one. First Sergeant Emily Martinez. This troop here, she always had leadership within her. Always knew what to do, how to motivate people, how to get soldiers to act right. She got that New York in her. She really couldn't work out either. Because of some other things, health things, but I ain't gonna put her business out there. But me and her, we worked out a lot. Aerobics, in the gym, you know, walks and all that other good stuff. And she made it. You know, she got healthy, passed a PT test, excelling, is now leading troops herself. First time Martina, proud of you as well. And as we continue, had a lot of good soldiers out there. Made staff sergeant, got promoted to staff sergeant over there, which was great. And yeah, a good old time. Again, challenges. This time the freaking siren was right outside my window. which means every time we had an alert, darn sure woke me up. I remember my alarm clock. I had my alarm set on the computer, but my alarm was actually the Army song, and I had those speakers that everybody had, and I had the volume up loud. So when my alarm went off, the Army song was playing, loud as I don't know what. So it woke me right up. But yeah, man, I was a proud soldier back then. I was a proud soldier. So then I left there, went on drill sergeant status. Drill sergeant candidate, Bravo 35th. Shout out to Patrick Gamble, my mentor as a candidate. Awesome dude, man. Full of integrity, full of life, man. Make you laugh. Showed you what a drill sergeant is. And I went to drill sergeant school, excelled in that mess. I was about to drop out like the third or fourth day, CIF day. But then, man, the way they treat you, the CIF, even as a drill sergeant candidate, man, I was like, who the heck these people think they are? I'm the same rank as they are. Man, I ain't going for this mess. And yeah, I stayed. My ex-wife talked me into it. She knew I worked hard to get there. So, you know, she talked me into it. And went on a trail. I didn't want to go to the company I went to. You know, I was down in Tin Land. I didn't like Tin Land for the very same reason that many know about. I did not want to go there, but I went there. And it's freaking nuts. And in the end, man, I tell you, even as a human being, integrity is number one. Integrity is number one. Number two in life is, if you're having issues, man, talk about it to somebody. You know, don't let it eat at you. Don't let it get you to a point where you're no longer yourself. You're acting out of character. You know, you got to talk to somebody. What I want to say, number three, as a leader, if you're going to lead, freaking lead. You know, don't be a weak leader, but also don't be the leader that tells people to do stuff but you don't do it yourself. You know. How you doing?
Good.
All right. Yeah, I remember when one thing is that oftentimes back then the military didn't really have anything as far as helping families out with difficult problems. Or they did, but there really wasn't no training on how to intervene with that stuff. So it allowed for some issues to happen in families and stuff, mine included. And which led me to be where I am now, civilian. My whole plan was to do 30, to keep going until I couldn't go no more, but that was all cut short. You know, but divorce and issues in life all weighed heavily up here. Finally got to me after so long. But I'm gonna tell you, life was cool. It was fun. I mean, I'm glad that I went in, because if I didn't, I would not be who I am today. You know, I wouldn't have the mindset that I do today. You know, even though sometimes I could be a different person just because of everything that, you know, went through. Sometimes one of those standoffish. Sometimes I don't like people. But overall, it's good. It's good. But I tell you, all the soldiers that I had throughout my career, each and every person that I met, each and every soldier that I served with, and leaders that I served with. Man, you all are great, man. I learned something from each and every one of you, and I'll never forget you. And I always say, if you ever need somebody to talk to, or some type of encouragement, just give me a shout. Because sometimes I need encouragement too. But yeah, so that was my military time, man. It was good up until the end. But even in the end, I still learned something from it. So I can't talk bad about it. Just good stuff. Awesome. So, hey, that's my video, Lo. Hope this one works for you, man. I hope more tap on and make theirs, man. I can't wait to hear more stories, because I never would have met you, none of you guys, if it wasn't for that cute recruiter that won a battle in front of my house. Hey, man, y'all be good, man. I'll talk to you soon. All right.